Hello, hello, beautiful people. Thank you for tuning in to Movement Medicine Morsels this morning. September, it's still September, so this is Yoga Month, National Yoga Month. So little themes of yoga, perhaps some of the lesser known concepts of yoga, and also embodying them, not only as mental concepts, but embodying them with breath and movement. It's also Alopecia Awareness Month, and it's a condition that I am living with and learning from. And if you want to know a little bit more about my version of it or my story, I posted a special movement medicine morsels on Saturday, September 12th. So, hello, and thank you for tuning in. So, today's theme is something that in the Sanskrit language is called pratipaksha bhavanam. Pratipaksha means opposite, and bhavana means cultivation. So essentially, we could translate it in modern terms as cognitive reframing, or changing one's point of view. Now, why might this be a yogic practice? Well, if you've ever thought about something that you're stuck in a certain mode of thinking, and you just can't get yourself out of it. And let's face it, we can't think our way out of a problem with the same thinking that got us into it. That's just not going to happen. So we need to take a step outside. We need to take fresh eyes. We need to maybe look at a different aspect, a different point of view. And I have a little example that uses humor, and it's actually something that helped me very much when I started to realize I was losing my hair, and there was nothing really that I could do about it other than find a way to accept it and to move out of denial. So this was a little story that I found that made me laugh, and laughter always lightens things up. So there's a young woman who's losing her hair, and she wakes up one morning and she discovers she has three hairs, only three hairs. And she looks in the mirror and she says, fantastic. I know what I'm going to do today. I'm going to wear a braid. So she braids her hair, and she has a lovely day. Next day, she wakes up and she looks in the mirror and she discovers that one of the hairs has fallen. So she's left with two hairs. And rather than collapsing in a lump of tears, this brave, plucky soul says, I've got two hairs. I'm wearing pigtails today. And she wears pigtails. So the third day, she wakes up and one more of those hairs has fallen. She's left with one. So what does she decide to do as her hairstyle that day? I'm wearing a ponytail. And she wears a ponytail. Well, this made me so happy because I thought, I want to have that kind of beautiful, hopeful energy. So, laughter can be a real change of point of view, sometimes even moving. You can be stuck in one place and you're sitting or you're lying down or you're not moving. So getting up, moving, we're going to do a little bit of movement to illustrate this in a few moments. Or also looking at things from the opposite. So I have one more example. And let's bring ourselves into our breathing because breathing also helps us digest new material, new ideas. It gets us in a nice frame of mind. So let's plant our feet. Let's feel the stability of the earth under our feet, the stability of whatever kind of chair seat you're sitting on. Really feel that. And as well as the foundation, we're always looking in these sessions at elongation, vertical alignment, a lightness in the spine, honoring our foundation and also elongating so that we play with gravity rather than succumb or be laden down by gravity. So even these ideas can be shifting one's point of view. Let's raise our shoulders up with a smooth, deep inhalation and let them melt down with a sigh that can be as long as it wants to be. Next inhalation, up go those shoulders and and one more time. now let the breath come in softly, gently through the nose, and let the breath come out softly, gently through the nose. So we're inhaling. You can even place your hands on your belly to get that nice grounded filling feeling, filling up the belly, filling up the chest, filling up the back, and exhaling, letting all of that relax. Inhaling, we're accepting and allowing fresh energy to come in and nourish us. Exhaling, we're releasing any stagnant or stuck bits. We're just changing. It's like getting the oil changed in your car. We're changing, we're shifting the energy, the subtle energy within our own bodies and systems. And as we soften into our breath and remember the ground below us and the sky above us, both lending us their gifts to help us be our most beautiful human shape and size and have lovely posture. We're adding breath to keep expanding and to stay flexible and supple. Because what is getting stuck in one point of view? It's stuckness, it's rigidity. So we're changing our posture, we're allowing inspiration from the sky, the air around us, we're allowing and receiving stability of foundation, and we're relaxing ourselves to create more of an openness. So while we continue to sit and breathe with this feeling of openness, I'm going to give you the other example, mental example. We have a tendency to think about the things that are wrong with us. I don't have hair. I'm too fat. Whatever you may think. Or we think about the pain in our body if we're suffering with chronic pain or any discomfort. We think about our shortcomings and or we think about the places in our body that give us discomfort. In issues of chronic pain or long-standing problems, we have repeated this kind of self-talk over and over again to the point where it starts to get a little bit hardened, a little bit firmer, and we start to think it's true, but it's still just a thought. So I'd like you to take a moment and just think about something not too super challenging for you. Think of something that is mildly challenging because we want to get some feeling of success with something that isn't going to really trigger us in a way that we can't face right now. So we want to get our strength in the milder versions, and then with those successes we can start to build up into some of the more difficult things like facing the shadow, which is another thing we need to look at, the lightness and the darkness in balance with one another. So let's think about something maybe, but what we want to do is think about, just remember something that bothers you but doesn't like really put you on the floor. And now we're just going to put that aside. And I want you to think about something, either a feature of yours that you're really proud of, or a quality, or even a part of your body that does not hurt, a part of your body that feels good. These might be things that we go, oh, wait a second, I'm not used to thinking about that. That's good. That means that we're in some fertile territory. Just spend a little bit of time thinking about a place that feels good in your body or feels good in your life, because we all have those places. And let's give some time and some joy and some attention to this. And let the feeling grow a little bit. Let this feeling of well-being, of contentment, let it grow. And you can come back to this idea as many times in your day as you like, and you can work with the same thing or different things. You can start to really appreciate things about yourself, and that joy will start to build a positive energy, a positive, relaxed energy in your body. And from that place, we just have a lot more energy with which to face whatever comes our way. Now, movement wise, what can we do other than breathing and having beautiful posture? A simple thing to do is look around. Turn your head and really see your environment. Keep breathing. Turn your head in the other direction and really see something. Sometimes we turn our head and we don't really take in what's in our environment. See something you really like, maybe notice the colors, artwork, maybe you can see some nature. And now, if it's comfortable to you, turn and use more of your body. Maybe turning the hip, getting a little bit more turn in more parts of your body. I just got a little spinal opening there, a little chiropractic adjustment. And if this is comfortable for you to twist around, you're also engaging your organs. You're engaging a deep muscle, stability and sensation muscle called the psoas, and you're taking in more perspectives. Remember, when we get stuck on one perspective, that can get us quite stagnant. But if we're open to other perspectives and new ways of looking at things, well, that can just open up a whole range of possibilities. I invite you to come and stand up with me if you feel like standing up. And of course, you can continue in the seat, you can continue lying down, listening, and experimenting energetically. So sometimes we feel stuck in one way of thinking or one way of feeling. A fabulous thing to do is to shake. And this settles and resets the nervous system and kind of clears us out and gives us the opportunity to have fresh eyes. I've found my students, some of my students have said when they have writer's block, this is really helpful. And I find it helpful for clearing stuck emotions. So getting that tall spine, softness in the knees, you've got that buoyancy, you have that lightness, and you have the rootedness, and everything's loose. And start shaking maybe through the hands, through the elbows, the shoulders. Using sound is also good. You can let out silly sounds, deep sounds, keening sounds, and keep everything loose. Check that your toes are loose, your ankles are loose, your knees are loose. You can shake your hands up and shake towards the sky. With this, if you wish, you can even lift and drop your heels. When you shake up, you can get a nice stretch in the organs. And all of our organs have consciousness. So as we're shifting and changing them and moving them around, they're going to be able to release any emotions that might be furrowed in there. Even a little bit can feel great. Putting on a piece of energetic music that you like and shaking can be fantastic. And shaking is also a way to deal with shock, to deal with shock. Once I was doored by a taxi. Luckily, I wasn't injured, but I had a bruise for weeks the size of a dinner plate. But the shock just made me shake. So I got myself home and I shook. And I decided I would just shake until I felt a shift. Now, this was quite a shock, and it really, really was painful on many levels. So it took me 25 minutes. 25 minutes of shaking got me to a shift. So you may find a minute. Sometimes you need longer. You don't have to shake vigorously. It can be micro shaking. And then let's go into some twisting. And here you can keep the feet on the floor for a gentle twisting. Now let's try a couple of twists where the head stays more or less forward. Don't lock the neck. You'll see that there's a little, almost a look over your shoulder that happens. And then let your head go along with the twist. We'll meet that little position again in a bit. And if you want to go further, getting more of the body involved, let's lift that back heel. If you're in the chair, you can slide your hips from side to side, or you can keep your hips stable and do the gentle swinging. Okay, let's bring this to a gentle close. And now we're going to do a kind of changing points of view and changing levels, because we tend to look at something same level. So in yoga, headstand can be a way of changing your perspective. Reframing different movements. So we're not going to do a headstand today, but we are going to do a little bit of hip releasing. So stepping your feet out a little wider than your shoulders And we're literally going to step. So instead of just shifting, I'm pushing with the toe and kind of stepping over, almost lifting the foot. I'm going to exaggerate the lifting of the foot, kind of strutting here. You don't have to lift the toes all the way off the floor, but we want that feeling. I'll turn the same way as you. So maybe you can see there's a bit of a lift of the heel and you're moving from side to side, just loosening things up. All right, now we're going to be doing a bit of twisting here. We're going to be just follow along slowly. As we move to one side, we're going to reach towards the floor. Now, some of you might be able to touch the foot. I don't go down that low here. And then the other side. So let's just do this and look at the direction you're going. Really take in either the foot or your floor or the carpet. Now, coordinating breath with this, I generally would do inhale coming up and exhale as you're sending your eyes, and you're not staring, you're just looking, taking in. Now, we're going to take this up around chest level, and you're looking and reaching a little bit, looking and reaching. Let out sound anytime. And now we're going to go up on the diagonal. So here, reaching, and this is where the head doesn't look this way, but almost the ear at the shoulder, and your eyes are going far beyond the fingertips. Inhale, exhale. This is a lovely stretch. You're really reaching very elegantly. Stretch. So this is high, up to the diagonal corner. You're looking up towards the sky, higher areas. And now let's go to that mid-level area around shoulder height. See what's here. We're moving a little faster today, and that's a way to change energy as well. Just kind of get the heart beating, moving the body can change our perspective. And let's do 4 more at shoulder height, and 4 more at that lovely show me your back. So you want to turn enough that your back is visible. We'll do a couple more here. I'll turn the same way as you are. So there's really a lovely twist. This is almost balletic, this one. And let's finish at the shoulder level and start to slow things down. Start to slow things down. Take it gently, walking from side to side, bringing the feet in a little closer, until you feel nice and steady. Let's inhale, sweep the hands all the way up and overhead. Reach to the stars. Exhale. Bring the energy to the heart. Take an inhalation. Exhale. Bend the knees. Point the fingers to the earth. Inhale. Take up your full shape and size. Reach for the sky. Exhale. Hands to the heart center. One more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Bend the knees. Fingertips towards the ground. Inhale, big stretch up, and exhale, finishing with the hands at the heart. Feel your feet, gather stability from the earth. Feel the lightness and suspension, the gift from the sky, and let your breath flow through you. And see if you feel more of your inner resources, maybe a bit more flexible, supple physically, mentally, emotionally. And know that playing with changing your perspective, cultivating an opposite or different point of view can be very refreshing and can lend many, many interesting possibilities and solutions. So keep playing with this. Let me know how it works for you, and I'll see you at the next Movement Medicine Morsels. Have a beautiful, beautiful day or evening.